Hey you folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Aurora 4X. I want to give you guys a word of warning and a little bit of a peek behind the scenes here. It is currently, in real life, January the 11th as I record this episode, and it is possible that after today's episode, there will be a few days before the next episode of Aurora 4X. And the reason for that is, I've been recording all day, it's now late at night, and this is the last recording I can possibly do before my throat is already on fire. It feels like it's been, attacked by dire lemmings or something. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to record a whole bunch of the EU4 Oirat game. The day after that, I have a live stream, and I will try to sneak in some recordings. And the day after that, I leave for Europe for 2 weeks. So I don't believe... I don't currently have enough recordings for the Aurora 4X series to last throughout the entire time that I'm away, and I don't know if I'll have a chance to sneak in a few more recordings over the next few days. So just a word of warning, there may be a few days between this episode and the next one, and I apologize for that. Anyway, we are currently designing our new battle fleet, our Suntan Man 3 class cruiser over here. It's currently weighing in at 8,600 tons. It's dropped its speed down to 6,700 kilometers per second, and I think it's basically where it needs to be. It's currently counting on our command ship, the IM bombs over here, to provide the actual sensor information using its Comet Industries active ship sensor right over here. So this is the thing that is going to help us spot enemy ships, and our own ship is currently including the fire control and the missiles. It's got 6 missile launchers, and it's also got its own CIWS. So right now, this is the slower of the 2 ships, which might mean maybe there's something I can trim off here. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't need this much armor plating. I'm not sure. But it might also mean that my command ship could be buffed up a little bit. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to start a 3rd class over here. This is going to be renamed to the Angkor class. And there's not a cruiser escort. I might actually just call this a destroyer escort. I mean, there's just... Oh, escort cruiser. There we go. I guess that works okay. I mean, in practice, these are pretty much the same size as my destroyers, and are going to work in a very similar way. But I just like the idea that my next sort of level up of ships goes from a destroyer to a cruiser, which is not accurate and is not the way that it actually works in real life. But at this point, it'll be okay. So let's start with the same base. A pair of Crossy SC Dynamics 600 EP magnetic fusion engines. Magnetic fusion drive engines over here, generating a lot of speed, but that's because it doesn't have much weight right now. This is going to have this is our anti-missile ships. It's our point defense system ship. So it's going to have the fire control for the anti-missile missiles. It's going to have the CWIS system for the close-in weapon system that helps shoot things down. And we are going to give it the active missile sensor system. So it's going to be able to spot incoming missiles over here. We're also going to make sure that it's got 20 plates of armor, which is just arbitrarily the amount I've decided that all my ships will have. That brings it to about 5,000 tons. I guess it actually needs, you know, the ability to shoot missiles. So we're going to get a missile magazine and a variety of anti-missile launchers over here. This would bring us up to 6. We're still pretty light. Interestingly enough, you know, now I'm thinking about it. You know what I should do? I should almost rename these to have a similar, like, prefix or something so I can find them easier. I mean, they're going to have cruiser type things. I don't know, I'll have to remember what they are. Oh, I could go and obsolete some of these ship designs. Is probably what I should do. But what I want to check is the IM bombs currently weighs 77. Or actually, it's not the weight I'm concerned about, it's the speed. And more specifically, the Suntan Man has a speed of 6,700. I'm not sure that I can trim this down anymore. I mean, I suppose I could get rid of some missile launchers, but I don't like that idea. I could get rid of one of its missile magazines. And right now, it fires 11 times before it runs out. It does put out 66 missiles in that time. Well, 67, but the last wave would be a singleton. It would be nice to lighten this. I mean, since this is the one that doesn't have any active sensors, I could trim back on its armor a little bit. So if I do this, now assuming I'm fighting enemy at a similar tech level to what I am, my missiles can penetrate 4 layers of armor per, so 3 perfect missiles in exactly the same spot still wouldn't pierce all of our armor. That seems probably like we've got lots. So now we've got a 7,500 kilometer a second ship over here. And again, the IM Bombs command ship runs just slightly faster. We could also increase its armor a bit because it's going to be the one that really glows quite more vividly with the powerful sensors. Although the Angkor over here is also going to glow a bit more because it's going to have an active sensor as well for the missiles. Its sensor strength is actually relatively similar, but a lower resolution, or higher resolution. I don't know how you want to look. Smaller resolution. There you go. Smaller resolution. So it can pinpoint much tinier objects over here. So I'm not sure. Anyway, we've got, I added the magazine over here, and this can fit a lot of anti-missiles. There you go, 190 anti-missiles. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some more launchers on there because its speed is still really high. So we're going to assume, like, this thing, I mean, it has to protect my entire task group, right? So if we get, if missiles come our way, I want to be able to counter basically almost any number of them. I'm going to go and put on a second fire control so I can actually split my fire control. So I can actually split my anti-missiles in case that's a thing. I haven't gotten into real live combat yet, so, you know, the finer points of this are a little bit past me. This is still a very, very, very fast ship. Has its range. It's fine. We could have this one bring extra fuel to share with the rest of the group. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Okay, we're getting to be a lot of larges. Each one of these is 250,000 liters. Let's go and instead of multiple larges, or no, you know what? I will bring multiple larges because it gives us redundancy in case one of these gets hit. There you go. I think actually we're standardizing around 7,500, so this makes sure we're not slowing down the fleet at all. But we bring 1,000,000 liters of fuel here, as opposed to the 300,000 liters of fuel. Because we got, right, a little slight combination here. Range is 18.4 billion, which is slightly above the range of the Suntan Man. So the Suntan Man I'm using as our base model. It's got a range of 15 billion kilometers. The IM bombs have slightly more fuel, and the reason for that is because our shield system will eat into that partially. Oh, maybe I should add a shield system to the Suntan Man. No, not the Suntan Man, sorry, the Angkor. I would still like the other ship to be slightly more visible. It's got the extra Sea Whiz. But what I could do is just add in a little bit more armor plating there. Brings us to exactly 7,500. And I like that. I'm feeling good about this design. And then we've got extra fuel to help out the entire fleet. Because what I can do is I can rebalance the fuel between all the different fleet members. So effectively, this one is really a support class, right? This Escort, it's an anti-missile thing. So it's got the sensor. Let me remember. We've got the sensor for the missiles. We've got the fire control system for the anti-missiles. And we've got 16 anti-missile launchers. We've got 2 copies of the fire control. Our missile launchers have range. I think this is pretty decent. So I'd considered adding the jump drive to this, but I think I'm going to be happier with extra fuel in our little fleet. And then I still want to build, I want to build a faster tanker. So we're going to have a faster tanker here, which is going to be the Syracuse TY. So we're just going to list this as a tanker, set it as a tanker, and it'll be conscript, and it doesn't have to go as fast as the rest of the fleet. In fact, we want fuel efficiency for this. So we're going to put at least 4 of these on here, because honestly, we will have to go a little bit faster. It's going to be a pretty heavy thing. We're going to grab the single biggest fuel tank we can find. Oh, that's what I haven't done. I haven't adjusted maintenance and everything on the military ships. I can't forget about that, because I usually do. So now we got 5 million liters of fuel. Which, if we look at something like the Angkor, which happens to have 1 million liters of fuel, it has this kind of range. So really, right now, our Cyric is effectively given that 60 billion kilometer range, more or less, I don't know, I'm not doing the math, but to my entire task group. I probably want more fuel than this, just in case, like, that's the idea. So we'll put another ultra large on there. I mean, we're going quite slow, but that's okay. I would prefer this ship, you know, not get targeted at all, but just in case, because it is intended to go and follow a military convoy. It's still going to be a civilian ship, but we're going to armor it up a little bit. If I can give it Sea Whiz, and it's still a military, or it's still a civilian ship. So we're going to go ahead and give it 2 Sea Whiz systems. So it goes at 1,500 kilometers a second. It can be built in a civilian shipyard. It doesn't need maintenance. It also doesn't need to worry about deployment time. But I'm going to build this at around a 24 months, just for RP reasons. We're going to throw that in there. Is there anything else I would like? I don't think so. Could give it a recreational module or something like that so that other people in the task group can effectively get shore leave while they're paired up over here. I could have this thing carry some troops, but I don't think there's much point in that. I could throw in a tractor beam. Actually, that's an interesting question. How much does that weigh? Nothing, really. It's still a commercial vehicle. You know what? We're going to throw a tractor beam on you. I like it. What about a salvage module? Okay, that adds a fair bit of weight. I'm not going to add the salvage module, just because, first of all, that's the most basic version of it. We could potentially add more, and we might want a dedicated salvage thing. Actually, we need our salvage ship, I think, needs a bunch of cargo space. But the ship-to-ship tractor beam is pretty good. And, oh, that's the problem. This is going to be too big for our jump drive plans. Assuming we design a jump drive that can bring a ship up to 10,000 tons. This is too big. And the only way to make this smaller is to remove the fuel tanks. That's really... I mean, the ship-to-ship tractor beam isn't that bad. I mean, I could strip away some of the engines. That'll make it smaller, but that's not going to eliminate things. Oh, it does have the extra fuel storage. Large. Yeah, I don't know. You know what we might do? Is we might be willing to sacrifice these. Now, that's still too expensive to build. But what I was thinking is, this thing can always jump through using one of our jump gates, and then it can't jump home. But at least we're not losing a warship. But it's still a really... I mean, it takes 1.3 years to build. This is still a very major ship. So, here's a question. If we wanted to build a jump tender that could keep ships, or could ferry ships of 24,000 tons across, what would be involved in that? So, a jump drive, jump engine, and the size, we have to bring it up to 24,000 tons. So, this is a size 60 component. So, it's got a weight of 3,000 tons by itself. That's actually not too bad. And again, like, I'm actually tempted to go and, like, design... Wow, you can go really big. If I make this commercial, is it cheaper at all? Oh, it gets the commercial size bonus. Interesting. Now, the military jump drive can jump any ship. It can jump commercial ships as well. But obviously, like, you know, your normal big commercial ships are a lot bigger. Huh. Well, that's an interesting question, because my tankers are going to be called commercial, right? But then how do I have my military fleet escape? Exactly. So military jump drive. And if I do that, that's going to be big enough to jump that tanker, and obviously big enough to jump my entire military. It's not going to be big enough to jump any civilian ship I might dream of later on, but other than the tanker and the missile collier, nothing else will particularly need to be jumped this way, because all my other civilian ships are mostly just going to wait until the jump gate network is set up. And this is just something to allow us to escape the system. And that's only if we're deciding to make offensive action. But we might. Let's not worry about it for now. Let's not worry about making a jump ship, but let's go ahead and make the tanker. So I think I'm still happy with this. The speed is actually pretty darn fast considering the speed of our other ships. It's not going to be able to keep up with the military ships, but if the military ships are just parked somewhere, it's easily going to be able to get to them and then refuel the entire fleet. And I'm going to be quite happy with that. It's got a little bit of defense, a little bit of armor. So if some stray shots get to it, it won't be the end of the world. It's got the sea, yeah. So hopefully that's going to be okay. And again, hopefully it's got enough speed that it can mostly just, if you see someone jump in at the other end of the system, it can just run the other way and maybe get to a jump gate before anyone catches up or something like that. Okay, we also need a missile collier. So we're going to make this one the Hades 1988-4, whatever that means. Missile Collier. And again, I think it can be a conscript, that's fine. I think, what am I planning, like a 24-month deployment? Was that what I was ballparking here with the Angkor? Oh, I didn't put actually put it in. Let's go ahead and do that. That's the Angkor, sorry, my bad. I meant the Syriki TY. But I should make sure to improve the deployment time on everyone. So 2-year deployment, and that's going to be relevant for the military ships. For the others, it's not an issue. So the Hades over here, you are... I guess you just need a bunch of magazines? Is that true? You don't just store missiles and cargo. So I wonder if I should design a new type of magazine. Like a bulk storage version. So, like, we don't, well, yeah, it doesn't need, we don't need to feed. Huh, that actually I'm not sure about. Like, I can just make it bigger, or I can put more on there, or some damn thing. Let me not design the courier now, the collier now, because I don't actually know how it's going to work out. Okay, are my designs done? No, that's right. I have to make a pass-through and make sure the maintenance is okay. So you can see here, for example, the average failure rate is far too high, nor do we actually have the amount of components required over here. So I can put in a maintenance storage bay, which brings extra goods, which is nice for that, but it doesn't remove the annual failure rate. So we are instead going to add more engineering spaces. And we're going to try to bring the annual failure rate, I like, 100% as a max over here. Plus, it does bring a little extra storage. So now we can replace every system on our ship, like the biggest system on our ship, which is 300 maintenance supply points. That's the single biggest system on our ship. We can replace that 3 times. Annual failure rate is at 99%. Maintenance life is at 3 years, which is a little above our design. I could probably afford to bring this down a bit, especially since we've lost some speed here. There we go, just over 2 years. That's what we're going to target over here. Annual failure rate is 140%, and that's the chance of anything failing, but again, we have enough spare parts to repair the biggest system, which is probably an engine, twice. So that's probably okay. Something will break down, but we'll be able to instantly repair it, is most likely the case. I should really go and obsolete a few more of these. So that was the Angkor, that was our support ship, our point defense ship. So now we're going to do the same thing for our command ship over here. Try to bring its maintenance life just over 2 years. We've got that. We've got... Okay, the sensors are very, very, very big. Very, very big. To the point where I'm going to bring an extra maintenance storage bay. Because what I don't want is the sensors to break down and leave me with so few parts that I can't then fix my engine. So with this, we can make sure we can repair... we could repair this twice, or more accurately, we can repair the sensors once and still have enough parts to fix an engine if it breaks down. So I'm going to be more comfortable with that. I may be over-designing that, but... it makes me feel better. So we're now working at 6,800K per second here, 7,100 on the Angkor, which is still plenty fast. Plenty fast. And finally for the Suntan Man, bring the maintenance up just over 2 years. Annual failure rate 119, which isn't bad. We got enough parts to repair the biggest system twice. And again, I know it's 360. It's probably a fire control system or something like that. But again, the biggest system can be repaired once, and then every other system can still be repaired one time, at least after that, which makes me happy. Chance of repair. Like, what do you repair? How much does this add? It's not that much. Did it change the average failure time? I don't think so. It actually increased it because it's an extra system. But does damage control have a chance to repair a system that gets hit? I guess that's a good idea. So that's, again, about 6,800. And the Angkor, still pretty fast. It'll be the, what am I call it? The ion bombs. That is going to be the slowest part of my design. I'm just wondering if I should just get rid of the shields. Or just drop it down to 1 shield. It's just a little bit of extra defense. There we go. We're still a little bit slower, but I'm not really willing to strip away anything else over here. Actually, let's get rid of some engineering spaces. Because we still have... Well, we can't literally repair the same place twice. There you go, 6,800. You still can't quite repair it twice, but again, I think this is the sensor. I think this is their main sensor. If that breaks, we can't fix the main sensor twice. But otherwise, we should be okay. And that's, I mean, the odds of that happening twice in a row are pretty low. The extra damage control for combat. I think I kind of like this design. All right, let's assume this is good, because why not? Okay, so over on Earth, manage shipyards. You're still adding the extra slipway, so we're gonna have to wait for you to finish before we can actually build a ship and retool. But what we can do is we can retool for the cruiser Escort. I guess that's CLE. Angkor, yes. CLE Angkor. We're going to build you first before the command. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do anything useful with just the Escort ship, but the Escort ship does provide some PPV. Let's set activity. We actually haven't considered that. I mean, it's not going to affect our design, but out of curiosity, the Angkor has a planetary protection value of 16. It's got 1 per missile tube, and the Suntan Man will have 36 because it's got 6 per missile tube because the missiles are size 6 over here. So this fleet altogether will have a PPV of, I don't know, somewhere around 120 or something like that. Because we're going to have, what, 3 of these, right? Yeah. So that's 90, 108, plus what did I say, 16? So 122 planetary production value, which should get us in a nice place again. All right, that sounds okay. So we are going to retool this shipyard for the Escort class ship, and we'll build most likely 1. We might be tempted to build 2. We might be tempted to build 2 fleets. So build 2 Escort ships, and then retool for the command. At the very least, what I should probably do is build 2 Escort ships, then retool for the command, and figure it out. Our fleet could actually have 2 of these Escort ships in there, you know, for extra missile protection. Might be really good. I don't know. Couldn't hurt, right? So right now we are building a couple more of the fuel boats. Right. And something I hadn't checked in a while. Essentia, do you have fuel? Yes, you do. Wonderful, which means, because we did deliver some fuel over there, but it means now if I look at my PDC fleet Essentia, I can tell these guys to, I think I got a miscellaneous transfer fuel. Oh, from population, there we go. Transfer amount. How much fuel do I actually fit in? 50,000 liters. Miscellaneous. 1, 2, 3. Transfer from population to me. There we go. Now I am full of fuel. Actually, don't need full fuel. Let's say we'll transfer back 25,000. So that will leave me, if we just refresh this view, with 50% fuel. And that's enough to avoid the annoying error all the time. Coats just redesigned a bunch of their ships. They might have gotten some new tech that kicked in. But yeah, that Arctic Fox has run out of fuel. We should get that to be gone. And I think we have some idle research labs. Indeed, we do. I think we're going to work on more of this. In fact, I'm very tempted, I think, that I'm going to go... Oh, I already have you in here at max labs. Shipbuilding rate, which is pretty good. I'm going to queue up the extra research rate after that, so we can get that going. So what other category do I want to start working on? I mean, obviously, whatever we're going to work on right now isn't going to be something that we're looking to use right at this time. Power and propulsion, I mean, we always want more of that, right? Always want more of that. So let's just get working on the next level of tech. Is there another reactor? Yeah, the internal confinement fusion reactor, so this would be a new class of engines as well. Tell you what, we'll work on some more jump drive efficiency because we may be building a jump ship after this one. And that's it for labs. The other thing we could consider to do, if I double check the directions on how to build a missile collier. So a missile collier is just something that hauls missiles around for your fleet. Just like the tanker, it moves slow. It avoids combat. It separates off of the task group before combat happens. And then what it does is it just sits around so it can resupply. So you have a refueling ship and you have a ammo resupply ship. I'm not sure if you could also ship over maintenance goods. But that's not really an issue. That's just Maintenance just is a long-term thing. Battles are over in the course of, you know, a handful of hours, maybe a few days to close. Then you fight over minutes, maybe, if not maybe a couple hours. And then you run home, and then you go back, and that's okay. So we got some more technology, but technology is starting on the next go, so we should be good there. Yeah, Luna and Mars, not enough power, protection. They're pissed about that. An extra slipway has been added to Sarvoth. So now that you've done that, we are going to get you to retool for the cruiser. That's the command cruiser. We want cruiser. There you go. CA, Suntan Man. And again, I'm going to prioritize retooling from these guys. Well, first of all, the place of 3 slipways is designed to do this, so we can build 3 at the same time. But we just want the ones with planetary protection value to kick in as quickly as possible. So even though they won't actually be able to see anything to shoot, well, that's not true. The escort ships do work on their own, which is nice. Retooling for Angkor is finished. Okay, that was quick. So go ahead. And the first ship, of course, will just be named after the class. The Angkor class cruiser escort. We're going to add that. And that's it. That will use its slipways. And then we're going to advance. Retooling for Suntan Man is complete. So I would like you to build 3 ships. First, build the Suntan Man 3. Then you're going to build... you're going to build the More Dwarf Fortress. An excellent username. Tells you right what they want on the tin. And then the third one is going to be the Chiron 44 over here. All 3 of them are going to be part of the Suntan Man 3 class. So we've got a lot of ships being built. Once these ships get built, the unrest will go away instantly. And I'm going to build 2 of these cruisers, and then I'm going to build a command ship, and then we're going to start poking into some additional systems. More of our fuel ships. Now, I could actually have these guys run together. There's no reason. They should be able to do things at the same pace. So why don't I do that? Yeah, I like that. You know what? We're totally going to do that. Organization. You two, we're going to split you off into a new task group. And we called the other one Fuel Harvester Wolf 359. So this is instead going to be Fuel Harvester Leuten TG 1. Alright, here are your orders. First of all, if your fuel tanks are full, you're going to unload 90% of fuel at a colony. Your normal orders will be to move to a Sorium. It's near the bottom, isn't it? Move to a gas giant with Sorium. And your initial set of orders will be to jump through Leuten over here. Like that. Actually, you know what? I will split you off. Split you. And I think you'll actually, yeah, you copy over... Oh, no, I thought you copied over the orders. Okay, well, that's fine. Rename. This is going to be Fuel Harvester Soul Task Group 1. And even though, like, the situation in Seoul is kind of sucky for this, it's still going to work out. So if you're full, you can go and unload 90% fuel at a colony. You are going to move to gas giant with Sorium. And I'm not going to give you any special orders. So the Leuten one, you just jump through Leuten and then start your normal behavior. Although in Leuten, I think... I guess there's no command to gather things. No, you just sit around in orbit, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so you should automatically move to... I don't remember which is the gas giant that actually has gas in the Sol system. I think it's Neptune. I want to say Neptune. Okay, we don't have to be filtered out. But yeah, Jupiter has no mineral deposits. Does have a lot of moons. Saturn does have Sorium. Okay, about half a unit. So it's low. It's not going to transfer very quickly. Uranus does as well. So is Jupiter not classed as a gas giant? No, gas giant, just with no Sorium. So Uranus is better at 0.6. You mine it faster. Neptune, 0.7. Okay, so we have plenty of gas giants. We do have 3 gas giants, none of which have a 1.0 accessibility, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to manually tell this task group to go to Neptune. It's further away, but that's all right. I think I have to explicitly... There it is, Neptune. Move to. And that should be good enough. Just to make sure we have plenty of extra fuel slowly being accumulated. Meanwhile, actually on Earth, now that we can see how much fuel we're going to start to burn from normal operations on these ships, our annual production is not going to cut it. We need more refineries. Although, I mean, we are doing some orbital stuff. I'm going to go ahead and get like 200 more fuel refineries queued up here on Earth. We have tons of sorium. Well, actually, I think we're running a sorium deficit, technically. We'd have to ship more sorium in over here. So you know what? I've changed my mind. I mean, we do have plenty of it banked, don't get me wrong. Tons of sorium banked. Actually, we still aren't going to deplete our current sorium for 66 years. This projected usage, is it annually? I guess right now it's probably annually. 10,000. So we've got 106. Okay, yeah. So assuming that is true. Tell you what. Yeah, what the hell? Let's, I gotta click off and click back on. So we're going to double our current fuel refineries. We'll make 40 million liters of fuel a year, plus whatever we're getting out of our harvesting ships, which is going to be pretty nice. Unrest on Luna. Garble, garble. Oh, hey, mineral deposits. When did that kick in? Probably, oh, not that long ago. So this is one of, oh, it's just an asteroid. Didn't find anything. Although they did get extra skill, which is nice. So click here. So it'll zoom in on their final location. And we are going to disband that team. And they have their own little shuttlecraft. And if I recall correctly, A Kiss for Luck had not yet been scanned. No. But Essentia had. Yes. And A Kiss for Luck does have some minerals, which is one of the reasons we're settling there. Not much, mind you. But it's going to be worth taking a scan. In fact, I think there's probably a really good luck, a really good chance that we actually will find something on that planet. So 213 rating. That's really good, actually. That was all on the turn that those fuel ships got built, I'm pretty sure. Oh, someone has just retired. Let me color this. There we go. Oh, Governor of Vesta. You know what? That's okay. I think Vesta is totally good. So some ships are being redesigned, which is fine. We still have some unrest happening, which is unfortunate, but hardly the end of the world. Oh, you know what I haven't checked in a while? The, Iridium on Wolf Harrington. First, let's check that. Then I'm going to check the terraforming status. Wolf Harrington. You still have Duranium, so we're going to continue to mine you out. That is fine. Luna. How you looking? Temperature, good. Oxygen, good. Perfectly suitable environment. Excellent. Excellent. So we are going to stop terraforming. We are going to say, hey, first of all, we have 10 terraforming installations available for whoever might want it, aka Mercury. The next thing we're going to say is we have, wow, that's a lot of infrastructure. Holy crap. 107,000, so 107,998. 107,998 infrastructure that we can supply to anywhere. Some of it might get changed through just the wealth and trade interface. I don't know. Meanwhile, let's transfer it over to Mercury. No, before we do that to Mercury, we're going to say, hey, Mercury wants 10 terraforming installations. Let's get that over first. And let me make sure Mercury is already set to generating oxygen. Excellent. Let me skip ahead, maybe just one 30-day chunk. I don't know how long it'll take to transfer that over. Oh, we just found some stuff. Excellent. Mercury, what are you looking at? You haven't gotten them yet. So we're probably just still moving other things. Ah, but people aren't... Okay, nope, we're moving there. Your demand has dropped. Oh, because these guys are en route, so that's fine. So, hello, geology team. You just found 2 more deposits. Tritanium and Vanderite. And the Vanderite is high accessibility, and there's 7 million of it. Really good, buddies. Well done. So that was on A Kiss for Luck. So it's still not mineral rich, but it's nice to know that it's there. and that's something that we can tap later on. Geology team, sorry, we're going to disband this team. Briarstone. We have done a scan, and what about Bella? We have also done a scan over there. So the Leuchten system over here, specifically like the moons. There we go. We'll do a geology scan there. We need to regenerate this list because it didn't have the people from the latest team. We have to remember to do that. Okay, and my shipyards are shipyarding, right? 3 suntans and an Angkor. Okay. And we're researching a little bit more jump drive efficiency, the research rate. I'm very happy about that. More turret tracking speed because in the future we'll want some better CWIS systems. Okay. Well, I'm not sure that we have anything else urgent to do right now, so this might be a good place to cut. Oh, we did get our new drive efficiency. Let me keep researching more things like that. Yeah, we're not going to need bigger squadron size or jump radius, or smaller jump engine size. That's not our concern. I mean, maybe if we keep getting the efficiency up. Let me go ahead and start researching the next level. That I'm going to be okay with. And then we've got to check Miriam over here. You still have a trickle of Bornide left. Not much, but we're going to go ahead and mine the rest of it out before we go and lift everything off of your surface. Meanwhile, Mercury. Terraform installations, 5.8. Okay, so I'm going to advance at least long enough for that. Oh, it's the civilian ships that I don't want to do in 30-day cycles to really optimize their movements. Let me go in 5-day chunks a little bit more. And there's still sub-ticks, but yeah. Unrest, unrest, unrest. I guess what I can do is actually leave the Mercury screen open. Okay, it's got its 10 installations. Excellent. So now, Luna is still offering... Oh, I can't just edit that. 107,998. So Mercury is going to ask for 107,998 infrastructure, because right now it's complaining about, overcrowding. And that's understandable. There's a million more people on Mercury than its biodomes are supposed to handle. Now, once it gets converted over, that's not going to be as much of an issue, but right now it's really bad. And I think it's mostly the heat. In fact, the first thing to do, because increasing the oxygen to 0.1 isn't going to change the suitability, I think. I think what we actually want to do is start pumping in anti-greenhouse gases. And I don't know how much we're going to need, but we definitely have to make sure it doesn't exceed 0.8. Well, actually, it could go all the way to 0.9. It could actually go quite a bit higher than that, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, because humans can handle up to 4 times pressure, and they need at least 0.1 atmosphere of oxygen. I don't think percentage of oxygen matters other than less than 30%, as long as it's got at least 0.1. So we'll set it here anyway, anti-greenhouse gases, and if I go and scooch ahead 30, so right now the temperature, correct, because there's no atmosphere, so there's nothing to protect it. Nothing happened. Oh, annual production, 0. Why? You not have enough workers? Worker shortage. Oh, everyone's working on just keeping Mercury alive. Okay, right. Until the suitability improves. Okay, so Mercury cannot be transformed by the ground-based infrastructure. At least not yet. Not until it gets a little bit better, because everyone's working to just keep Mercury alive. So our transformer task group here, we're actually going to send it to Sol and then send it to Mercury. I'd forgotten about that. All right, we're going to have a work on things over there. And then we're going to change it back to the anti-greenhouse. Mercury. Environment. Anti-greenhouse. Go. A new ship came in. We're just waiting to see for the orders over. Oh, there's our transformer task group. I forgot. It moves quite slowly. No unrest on Lunar or Mars. Apparently they're feeling defended enough. Excellent. Trading for the Terraformer has completed orders. Oh, and we finished our automated mines on Earth as well. So let's make sure that Earth, yeah, is offering up the automated mines. So it's got 193. So we have 193 to supply to everyone else. Boom. Next, Mercury. So I'm wondering if I should move the terraformers somewhere. Well, we don't really have anyone else that needs it. Yeah, these ground-based terraformers, man, they're kind of crap. But at least once we improve things a little bit, things will help. So right now, the suitability is 152289. Let's skip ahead 30 days. There you go. Suitability is improving, which is really important. And we're hoping to get to the point where the agriculture environmental drops low enough that manufacturing starts, at which point people will be able to work in the terraformers, which is going to help accelerate things. But the temperature is dropping a little bit. So let's go again. So 80.2% agriculture. Next month, 79. Okay, so a lot of it's still going to go into service industry. I don't know what the percentage there is. No, 75%. So 75% seems to be the base. Oops, I double-clicked on Sol, which means we get that to open up, which slows everything down. So it is going to take a while before anyone on Mercury can work in the installations. But we are terraforming here, which is important. Oh, we completed a geo-survey. Didn't find anything else. Then we'll have to go and disband those guys. Temperature's dropping pretty quickly, although it's still going to take some time before it gets to a reasonable level. Man, Mercury, brutal. We are helping to alleviate the overcrowding problems. Actually, already it's got enough infrastructure. We're shipping a lot of stuff over there. It's going to have a massive amount of infrastructure. And then, I don't know, our terraforming fleet has gotten so good that we probably don't actually have to worry about infrastructure too much in the future. We can probably just bulk terraform things ahead of time, and that's going to be a wonderful thing. But we are going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Thank you very much for watching. As I just said at the beginning of the episode, there's a possibility that there will be a few days delay between this episode and the next one of Aurora, and I'm very sorry about that. I tried to do my best, but there is a limited amount of recording ahead of time I could do. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.